Telling the young people, to you young people, you are not the future of this country anymore because you are the now, securing your present. You need to learn from the lessons of the past to address the challenges of today. And with your zeal and vigor, you are the now, shaping the future you wish, you need to survive. So you need to sustain your being now. And you need to sustain that resistance, which, sustain that resistance to the system which underestimate your power. And because in resistance, there is action and change. You should not be afraid. But, as I tell you right now, I may not be speaking on behalf of the older or elder generations, like with Attorney Alex and with all those older generations. But I tell you, we are sorry. We are all young people. But you know what? We are sorry for this not so good now. But we need to work together as we need an inclusive intergenerational approach for the care of our common home. So the paalala is you need to use your creativity, your bravery, your idealism, the technology you are familiar with, and you need to bloom where you planted. Yung study nyo, yung kurso nyo. And you need to learn to discover more science. And you need to maintain these kinds of relationships with each other. Because you have the heart, you have the strength, you have the faith. But above all, you have NOW. You have the now to hope, to believe, and to act. Thank you.
In addition to everything, of course, that that Rodney is saying, and we're not speaking in behalf of the older generation kasi young pa nga kami ni Rodney. But in addition to everything that Rodney has said, my advice to the younger generation is always remember. And ito sinasabi ko din ko sa sarili ko, pag napapagod na ako in this type of work is, kung hindi tayo yung gagawa, sino pa? One. Always remember that. And I connect that to your unique role as a generation. And I think we don't realize this enough is that our unique role, talagang kasi magka-generation tayo, our unique role as a generation is that we are the first generation that has this much science, especially about climate change, where we already, at some certain degree, scientifically certain degree, know that climate change is happening now. These are the effects. This is what has caused that. So knowing that, and we are also the generation that grew up, and that is why if you've seen the development of advocacies and activism in environmental issues in the past few years, ang taas na ng knowledge natin. Bakit? Because we are the generation that was brought up in a world where people actually started to say the environment is important and we need to start talking about it. We need to start preparing for the environment in the future. So note that that is your unique role as a generation. And because of those parang embeddedness ng environmental issues and environmental consciousness sa inyong lahat, you are now in a very unique position to parang weave your environmental values all throughout your life. But having said that as well, another point is that forgive the older generation. And nag-sorry na si Rodney earlier. Forgive the older generation. As the parang a scripture in the Bible has said, diba? Forgive them for they did not learn. And for the older generation, that translates to forgive them for they did not know better. Again, kayong generation, ang dami na natin, ating generation, ang dami na natin alam sa science. Yung older generation, they grew up in a time that no one even really talked about climate change yet. Or if it was being talked about because of bigger forces in the corporate world, fossil fuel, the science was muted or was fake, na hindi pala totoo yung climate change. So forgive the older generation if they did not know better. But because also recognize that our generation would know better, and that is what puts us in a very unique position to actually do something about it. Lastly, all the young people, I always get asked, so, ayoko maging environmental planner. Hindi ko naman kaya maging scientist or engineer kasi mahina ako sa math. Mahina din ako sa math, kaya I get that feeling. Know that environmental problems will be cross-sectoral. The issue will not be, the solution will not be found by just engineers, just scientists, or even just people working in the environmental sphere. So if you have a profession that you want to pursue that, but know that everything, each and every profession must be made clean. And that is where the solution will come from when we all finally figure out how to make everything clean. So go ahead, be an architect. Go ahead, be a nurse. But always remember that you tie that into your environmental values and figure out how your profession can do better for the earth. Thank you.